On the news, St. Lucia's Prime Minister Pierre defends Tinubu's visit to Caribbean nation, slams criticism as shameful and disgraceful. Osun State Governor Adeleke dismisses alliance speculations, expresses confidence in 2026 victory without party merger. And SDP's new acting national chairman meets stakeholders, says party will surmount factional crisis. Thanks for joining News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Simsola Atikun. Prime Minister Philip Pierre of St. Lucia is hitting back at critics of Nigerian President Bola Tinubu's recent visit to the island, branding the backlash as shameful and disgraceful. Delivering his Emancipation Day address in Castries, Pierre accused detractors now of using the occasion for political point scoring and said the backlash reflects what he describes as a lingering residue of colonial self-hate. The Prime Minister describes Tinubu's visit as an honor for the people of St. Lucia and a historic moment in strengthening ties between Africa and the Caribbean. He also revealed that several key agreements were signed during the visit, covering education, culture, economic development and social cooperation, not just with St. Lucia, but across the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. On the home front, President Bola Tinubu has directed the relocation of the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation from the Ministry of Works to the Presidency. The directive was issued during the National Economic Council NEC meeting, with Tinubu saying that the move is intended to improve coordination and execution of strategic infrastructure projects, notably the Lagos-Calabar and Sokoto-Badagry superhighways. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris confirmed the development while briefing State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting. According to him, the relocation is aimed at streamlining geospatial data management and ensuring closer presidential oversight of national mapping and land administration initiatives. Security experts in the country have reacted with mixed reviews following National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu's recent assessment of the nation's security. That the nation's security has improved significantly over the past 2 years under President Bola Tinubu's administration. Speaking at a mid-term assessment town hall meeting organized by the Sir Ahmadu Bello Foundation in Kaduna, Badu highlighted key achievements, including the neutralization of over 300 bandit kingpins, the rescue of over 12,000 hostages, and the recovery and destruction of more than 14,000 illegal firearms. However, the former assistant director of the Department of State Services, Dennis Amakri, expressed caution, emphasizing that insecurity remains a significant concern in Nigeria. He argued that despite progress, the nation still faces serious security challenges that require continued and focused efforts.
Bello Turji has been a very significant figure when we come to the banditry situation. Because of his links in government, links among Nigerians, and it's Bello Turji that was banned sometime because he has been around, and because of what he's doing, some of these communities were even paying taxes to him, and of course, when I talk to some of my colleagues in the security services, they are all in agreement that, to get Bello Turji is one task that must be done. And of course, he's been around. Like I said, they banned him once. His boys are going to markets. Some religious leaders have been talking with him, but he's been creating havoc and been giving people a lot of nightmares. So I think being a target, and I think the military and the security agencies are, really having him as a priority. And if they take him out, then that group that follows him are going to also scatter. If all the monies that was spent on security was used for security, then, of course, there will be serious positive outcome whereby we will have good results. But multifaceted in the sense that, number one, when the budget, you said that the defense budget is the highest. Yes, but how many actually go to the military? How many actually go to the police or to the DSS, the NIA, the security agencies? It's not enough. And then, of course, with the volatile nature of the naira to the dollar, it becomes even more complicated. Because now when you look at it, how much is that budget? Now, how much are the armaments that we're buying? We don't manufacture these things in Nigeria. So if you want to buy a drone, for instance, a good Predator drone is about $10 million. And then, of course, convert it. How many are you going to get? Let's say we buy 10. If we buy 10, and then, of course, convert it again to the current value of the naira, and then you find out that we cannot really spend much. Because if we buy 10 drones, that is going to cost us, how much?
Away from security to politics, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has dismissed reports claiming he is planning to defect to the African Democratic Congress, ADC, or align with figures within the party. In a statement issued on Friday by his media aide Olawale Rashid, the governor described the rumors as baseless, affirming that he remains fully committed to the People's Democratic Party, PDP. He added there are no plans to join or collaborate with the ADC ahead of the 2026 governorship election in Osun State. Still on politics, leaders and stakeholders of the opposition Social Democratic Party SDP have said current challenges in the party present an opportunity for growth and reflection on its affairs, priorities and objectives. Speaking during a meeting, the SDP's acting national chairman Sadiq Abubakar cited the suspension of the national chairman Shehu Gabam and two others following an allegation of financial fraud and the ban of former Governor Nasir El-Rufai from the party for 30 years over his membership status. He assured stakeholders that the leadership is working towards stabilizing now the party and charting a positive course towards the 2027 elections and beyond.
There is no denying the fact that this is a trying times for the party. However, it is during difficult times that growth takes place. What is happening over the last 3 months is an opportunity for the party to take inventory of its affairs, reassess its standing, analyze its directions and focus in order to calibrate its priority and objectives. Equally, not only the SDP as a political party, I am sure all the political parties in this country, and indeed the Nigerian nation, and the entire political process is facing an unprecedented challenges in the country. However, I want to assure you that the entire members of our party and you as key stakeholders, that the leadership of the party is doing whatever necessary to stabilize the party and chart a positive course toward 2027 elections and beyond. Our vision is to provide Nigerians with credible platform as an alternative, with honesty and sincerity that will take it possible to face our national challenges and priority. Ours is a challenge that we are not shying away from it. Actually, the stakeholders are supposed to have been briefed, if not on daily basis, on and off, right from the time we assume the leadership of this party.
The plan by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in collaboration with the Education Ministry to implement mandatory drug testing for students in Nigeria's tertiary institutions has sparked widespread reactions. This initiative, which will apply to new and returning students, aims to tackle the growing problem of drug abuse among Nigerian youths in higher education. Speaking exclusively to TV360 Nigeria, the director of the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, addressed concerns about privacy, assuring that the drug testing exercise will be conducted with strict confidentiality. He also assured that students testing positive will not be shamed, but supported with rehabilitation.
It's not something that is that anybody is kicking against. There are quite a lot of state governments that even had already bought into this and championing it in their states with the support of the NDLA. So it's something that has been going on seamlessly without any resistance or without any issues raised from any quarter. So it's like I said again, we have to understand the fact that this is a public health thing. It's not something being done to stigmatize or vilify anybody, and it's also part of a system that the outcome cannot be public, and again, the individuals who test positive have to be helped. Don't forget that there are quite some of these people who are users, and they are still going to their classes. So what this does is to confirm, okay, this individual has this problem, so we have to put in place help, counseling, treatment for this individual. Just like you have malaria, you go to the hospital, you have a test, it's confirmed that you have malaria, and then you are put on treatment. That doesn't still stop you from continuing to do what you are doing. That is whether you are going to school, you are going to classes, or you are going to your office or workplaces. So this is just exactly the same thing. It's just in line with all of the things that have been going on, or what we're already doing. So there is nothing out of place with it. Definitely, it's in the interest of the individuals, the institutions, the parents, and the society and our country at large.
There are so many things that are factors responsible for drug abuse. I think the major thing I see is that is a global phenomenon. As we have in Nigeria, we also have in other parts of the world. And we are not excluded from all this wave that we have. But the major thing is that there is a need for the government and all relevant agencies to come up with a strong mechanism to control the influence, and then the penetration of this drug among students. You know that NDLEA has been working hard with other government agencies to be able to control the incoming and all the rest. But because the borders are not that too, happens to be very porous, and then all the drug can come in through other channels to the country. So there is a need, those ones that we have in the country, to prevent the young ones, especially the students, as you have mentioned, from being lured to this kind of practices that are inimical to their well-being.
And on health matters, experts have called for early testing, vaccination, and increased public education on viral hepatitis in a bid to boost public awareness of the dangers. Often called the silent killer, viral hepatitis is a disease that affects the liver and can go unnoticed for years until serious complications arise. Health experts in Nigeria highlight the major challenges in diagnosing and treating viral hepatitis in the country.
I don't really think there is any major challenges, like national major challenge now, but of public health importance, the major thing is the health-seeking behavior of people. You know that in this part of the world, we have this habit of not going for health checkup or going to the hospital for checks until we actually fall ill. So as a result of this, most cases of hepatitis go unnoticed. They are picked on as incidental findings, or maybe for some reasons. For instance, maybe a woman that is going to the hospital to register for antenatal care, and because it's one of the routine tests that is being done, so it's possible that we pick hepatitis infection in that person. And maybe for some other people that go for blood transfusion, or they want to do surgical procedures and they need to do serology tests, and instances like that. But we don't usually have people walk into the hospital and say they want to check themselves as much. So it's responsible for the reasons why some people will present late for liver disease. Maybe it's until when they start having symptoms like the yellowness of eye, or some other symptoms like that eventually brings them to the hospital, and it's at that instance that they will now be found out to have hepatitis. So, and most times it's already a chronic thing. So basically the major thing is just the fact that people don't usually go for checkups routinely. Aside that, I don't think there's any issues with diagnosing hepatitis. Then for the treatment, I think you mentioned something about the treatment too. So treatments, basically, especially for the chronic hepatitis, it has no cure. It can only be managed. So that's why we always advocate for preventive measures. Yeah, we advocate that people, do what is expected of them in order to prevent the infection in the first place. But
in other stories, Premium Trust Bank has extended its reach into Nigeria's northwest region the second time with the commissioning of its 26th branch in Kaduna, which also doubles as the bank's regional headquarters for the zone. The move reinforces the bank's commitment to financial inclusion, economic diversification, and nationwide growth. TV360's Okwayemi Owosheni was in Kaduna and brings us this report.
Premium Trust Bank's newest branch and second in northwestern Nigeria has officially opened in Kaduna, marking a major milestone in the bank's fast-paced national expansion. The event attracted top dignitaries, including the governors of Kaduna and Ekiti states, industry stakeholders, and community leaders who gathered to celebrate what is described as a bold investment in the region's economic future. For the bank's leadership, this isn't just about growth. Managing Director and CEO Emmanuel Emefianim described the Kaduna branch as the start of a meaningful partnership between the bank and the state.
With this new regional office, Premium Trust Bank is positioning itself as your financial growth partner, enabling businesses, supporting entrepreneurs, and empowering individuals to achieve their dreams. And our impact is being felt across the country. For our customers in Kaduna, we bring tailored SME and corporate solutions to boost trade and industrialization. We bring agri-finance products to support farmers and agro-allied businesses. We bring cutting-edge digital banking platforms, including Blaze, our all-in-one financial lifestyle app that offers seamless payments, flexible credit, and smart financial management.
While extolling the qualities of Kaduna people, Emefianim said the bank's arrival is expected to complement Kaduna's ongoing reforms, especially in financial inclusion, job creation, and youth empowerment.
I commend the visionary leadership of His Excellency Senator Uba Sani, whose unwavering commitment to peace, unity, and progress has renewed hope across Kaduna. Through improved security, urban renewal, economic diversification, infrastructural development, and youth empowerment, Your Excellency, you have created an environment where businesses thrive and investments flourish, positioning Kaduna as a preferred destination for partnerships like ours. To the good people of Kaduna State, Premium Trust Bank has arrived to work with you, invest in you, and grow with you. Together, we will write a new story of economic transformation and shared success.
Speaking at the occasion, Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani highlighted the significance of the bank's expansion into the state, calling it a testament to Kaduna's transformation under his administration. His Ekiti counterpart Biodun Oyebanji applauded the bank for its rapid expansion and impacting the banking landscape in the country.
Their presence here affirms our state's growing prominence as a commercial and economic hub. The arrival of Premium Trust Bank in Kaduna presents an excellent opportunity to deepen financial support for this vital sector, enabling farmers, agripreneurs, and agro-industries to scale new heights. Financial inclusion remains a cornerstone of our development agenda. Since taking office, we have facilitated the entry of thousands of Kaduna residents into formal financial system through targeted policies, awareness campaigns, and innovative partnerships.
I know that we are good products. I know that Premium Trust Bank is a bank that's highly professional, and it's a bank that I can put my seal of authority on as a bank to do business with.
From one branch in Port Harcourt just 3 years ago to 26 branches nationwide, Premium Trust Bank's growth trajectory has been remarkable. With a balance sheet now exceeding 1 trillion naira, the bank's leadership says it is just getting started. With more branches in the pipeline, Premium Trust Bank says it remains focused on building a trusted, customer-driven institution with footprints across every region of Nigeria. Okpeyemi Owosheni, TV360 News, Kaduna.
It's time for a break. When news now returns, Mali's former prime minister to stand trial over social media posts supporting jailed critics of military rulers. We'll give you details shortly. Welcome back. Let's brief you on our main stories. Prime Minister Philip Pierre of St. Lucia has hit back at critics of Nigerian President Bola Tinubu's recent visit to the island nation, branding the backlash as shameful and disgraceful. Delivering his Emancipation Day address in Castries, the Prime Minister described Tinubu's visit as an honor for the people of St. Lucia and a historic moment in strengthening ties between Africa and the Caribbean. We also told you that on the home front, President Bola Tinubu has directed the relocation of the office of the Surveyor General of the Federation from the Ministry of Works to the Presidency. The move is intended to improve coordination and execution of strategic infrastructure projects, notably the Lagos-Calabar and Sokoto-Badagry superhighways. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on X, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. In the world of business, the Nigerian government has launched a large-scale training program aimed at equipping 3 million Nigerian exporters with the knowledge and skills to effectively apply the rules of origin under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. This initiative, spearheaded by the Nigeria AFTA Coordination Office in partnership with the World Customs Organization, forms a key part of Nigeria's broader strategy to enhance the competitiveness of local businesses within the continental market. Speaking at the After Rules of Origin workshop held in Abuja, the national coordinator of the Nigeria office, Olusegun Awolowo, says the training is specifically tailored to prepare exporters, particularly those from the organized private sector and small and medium enterprises, for effective participation in the preferential trade framework. And financial experts in the country have raised concerns that only 8 banks have met the minimum capital requirement under the current forbearance regime, a situation deemed inadequate considering that these institutions represent just 1/3 of the nation's banking sector. Speaking to TV360 Nigeria, economist Dr. Akin Ogunshola noted that while some banks are performing well, others are struggling to stay afloat. He emphasized that small-tier banks in particular may need to consider mergers in order to meet the long overdue recapitalization benchmarks and remain competitive in the evolving financial landscape.
Yeah, some few banks are actually doing well, while some others are not doing well. Because if you look at the numbers, the CBN governor said 8 has, meet up with the benchmark, that they're expected to meet up with in 2026 March. And the total number of commercial banks that we have in Nigeria is 21. So it's just like 1/3 of all the commercial banks in Nigeria is what has actually met up with the recapitalization threshold. So 1/3 is not good enough for us at this time, but we are still hoping that more of them will still, raise their capital to that threshold that has been set by the Central Bank of Nigeria before the deadline, 31st of March 2026. The banks actually need to merge. The smaller tiers of bank need to merge because the need for recapitalization is actually long overdue. We can see that the subsidy removal has also, and the floating of the naira has made our economy to be, very, very weak.
Let's switch gears to Mali. Former Prime Minister Moussa Mara has been charged with undermining the credibility of the state following a social media post regarding his visit to political prisoners. According to a statement from the prosecutor, the charge stems from a July 4 post on X in which Mara described his visit to the detainees and pledged to advocate for justice on their behalf, which authorities now allege could be detrimental to the state's image. Mara, who held the office of Prime Minister for 8 months between 2014 and 2015, was summoned for questioning shortly after publishing the post. And Indonesia has begun implementing the first phase of President Prabowo Subianto's broad clemency plan following parliamentary approval of the initiative, which is reportedly aimed at promoting national unity and reconciliation. On Friday, the first group of 1,178 inmates was scheduled for release after the House of Representatives, Deputy Speaker and Law Minister announced the president had signed a presidential decree authorizing the amnesties. And finally, on sports, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria has urged increased government funding and corporate sponsorship to help stem the rising trend of Nigerian athletes switching national allegiance in pursuit of better opportunities overseas. AFN President Tonobok Okoa made the appeal over the weekend during a press conference after day 1 of the All Nigeria Athletics trials at the Yaba College of Technology Sports Complex in Lagos. Okoa emphasized that inadequate funding remains a major factor driving top athletes to seek citizenship in other countries. He says athletics in Nigeria requires significant financial support to cover training, international travel, welfare, and participation in both local and global competitions. And that's it on News Now. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.